Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today I have the start of a reaction vlog. So I'm going to be choosing a book that has been on my TBR for a very long time, and I'm going to be deciding whether or not it is worth the hype. It is one of the books, one of the series that is on my self-destruct TBR for the year, and also one of the series that I have to read. It is Stephanie Garber's Once Upon a Broken Heart. Now, I'm only going to be reading the first book in this vlog. That's why it's a reaction. I'm going to see if I am actually planning on continuing the series, because even though I want to read it, I don't know, I've had it for over 2 years and I haven't read it yet. So this is what we're going to do. Later on today, I am going to read this and I'm going to stop every 100 pages because it's roughly 400 pages long. So that makes for nice little stopping points. I am going to stop and give my reaction to how I am going with the story. For the fact that this is a book that has been on my TBR for so long, and it is a book that I picked for the series I need to finish, and it's part of the self-destruct TBR. I still have no idea what this book is about, which is great because it kind of works for the book I'm on prompt for March. But all I know is that Jax is a character in here and he's a character from Caraval, and I really enjoyed Caraval when I read it when it first came out, and I know that makes me really basic, but I don't like complicated fantasy stories. I like really basic things because that's all my brain can handle. So I am going to be reading and reacting to this, and I thought it would be fun to bring you guys along for the journey, and we'll see at the end of the video whether I'm going to continue the series or not. So the next time I see you, I will have read the first 100 pages of the book. Okie dokie, time for our first check-in for Once Upon a Broken Heart. First of all, I have taken the dust jacket off because I don't want to get it dirty because it's that lovely matte finish. Also, I do really love this dust jacket. I know it doesn't say anything about the book, but I just like it. Also, mine has a little apple debossed on the cover. And the other thing that's always lovely is there is a map. I love this map. This map is really cool. Not that it's going to help me because maps never do help me, directionally challenged like I am, but the illustrations are nice. So what am I thinking so far? Well, I'm 100 pages in. I have a page flag on every other page. And even though the story is not overly complex, I am enjoying it. So it is the story of Evangeline, who goes to the Prince of Hearts to ask him to help her stop the wedding of the boy that she loves, who is marrying her stepsister. And what she finds out when she makes this deal is that you really can't trust the fates. So I'm not 100% certain yet, and if you are very familiar with the Caraval series and this series and you want to correct me in the comments, feel free to, but I'm just gonna keep reading and go with it. I'm wondering whether the first part of this book is a prequel to the Caraval series, and then the Caraval series happens and then this book continues, like in the first 100 pages. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because I'm reading this story for its own sake. Although Scarlett and Teller are both in this book. We've already had a scene with them. So anyway, Evangeline gets to this wedding party right as Jax has stopped it. He has had someone turn the entire wedding party into statues. And Evangeline makes the decision that she is going to take the place of the wedding party. And so she drinks a potion, she turns into a statue, and 6 weeks later, she is unstatuified. I don't know what the word is. Anyway, she's turned back into a human from a statue, and suddenly she is very popular and very famous, and people believe that she is a hero who saved this wedding party despite the fact that it was her own deal with the fate who caused this problem in the first place. The other thing she finds is that she can't talk about it, and she feels really remorseful towards her stepsister, who she actually quite likes, but she doesn't get along with her stepmother. Anyway, Evangeline is trying to resume her life, avoid the fates, avoid all the suitors that are turning up, and trying to, you know, not interact with her stepmother very much, when the Empress, who I'm pretty sure is Scarlett, because Teller is the Empress's sister, sends her to the north because the Prince of the North is on the hunt for a bride, and she is there to represent her kingdom. And she takes her stepsister along with her. So where we just finished off, she's just gone to this dinner party, or this dinner evening, and she's just realized that Jax, or the Prince of Hearts, has turned up. And it's the first time she'll have seen him since she turned to stone, and she owes him 3 kisses. Now, the Prince of Hearts, if he kisses anyone, he kills them. So the 3 kisses that she owes him as part of her deal for stopping the wedding, she will have to kiss 3 people of his choosing at a time of his choosing. She hasn't had to use any of those up yet, so I'm assuming that we are going to start sometime soon. Now I'm beginning to wonder whether it is 1 kiss per book, if that's the thing, in which case I mean that would sustain it, unless all the kisses happen in this book and then the story continues. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. It's a very light read and exactly the level of fantasy that my poor little brain can cope with. All right, we are at page 199 and Jax has claimed the first kiss, which is for the prince that Evangeline has been sent to try and woo. And so obviously Jax has a plan that he's not sharing because he wants something and he's not going to tell Evangeline what it is that he wants. Alongside this, we have Evangeline beginning to suspect that her stepsister is jealous and might be doing things to hurt Evangeline. So we shall see how that turns out. And Jax and Evangeline have just been to see the matriarch of one of the other potential suitors for the prince, who has proposed to Evangeline like on the second night, on the first night of this gala thing. He's proposed to her and he's besotted, and that's because the first kiss that Jax claimed was for the prince. So he's obviously under a spell. Evangeline knows he's under a spell, but she also knows that Jax is playing a game and she doesn't know the rules yet, so she can't really stop it because every time she threatens to do that, Jax points out what will happen if she does. I do like a villain / morally grey character, and Jax is a demigod who is playing games. My favourite type of character. But yes, as it turns out, Evangeline is originally from the north, or is most likely from the north, and her mother, before her parents died, raised her on stories of the north, which was more of a magical realm and world. And so they had all of these stories about people who had magical ability, and they have dragons and all sorts of things. So it's a more magical place than where she's been living in for most of her life, and so she's excited to be there. But now she's discovered she's part of a prophecy, and she knows that Jax is trying to use her. And what's gonna happen? I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I am enjoying it. So far, if you were asking me, is this worth the hype? Yes, because it doesn't require a lot of brain power. It's very easy to follow, and I have morally grey characters. That's all I want. Okay, we're at page 301. We have had a wedding, we have had murder, and now we have vampires. I'm still waiting for Jax to betray Evangeline, but we've had all of those three things, which is always very exciting in 100 pages. Also, I should say that it's taking me about half an hour to read every 100 pages. So that gives you a sense of the speed of, or the pace of the writing in this book. Like, it's fairly fast paced. So I don't really have much to say. I don't really want this to be a super spoilery vlog. I want to get to the end. I want to know what happens. That's a great sign. All right, so I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart, and you know what? I really enjoyed it. I may be a very basic young adult fantasy reader, but this was fun, and it was twisty and turny, and yeah, maybe I kind of put the pieces together, but who cares, because it was enjoyable. And I think part of the bonus of this book is that there is not a moment in this book where you are not acutely aware that Jax is not to be trusted. Like, here's a character, you don't trust him at all. But Evangeline is still trying to figure that out. We know that you don't trust him. We know that he's going to do whatever it takes to get his way. She's just along for the ride at the minute, and it's not that she is simple or blind to the fact that he's manipulative. She's still trying to believe the best in people, and she gets blindsided by all these people who are doing things in their own self-interest because it's not naturally what she would do. And ever since she set things in motion by asking for the deal with Jax to stop her sister's wedding, that's caused all of this. Is it worth the hype? I don't know if it's worth all of the hype, but it's definitely a really enjoyable book, and I had a great time reading it. Now I want to read the next book, and I want to get myself a hard copy of the third book because I would like to have the whole set. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little venture into my ramblings on, like, this was a far more structured sort of reading vlog than I would normally do in terms of when I stop and give responses. So I don't know, if you like this format, let me know, and it can definitely be something that I incorporate into future content. If you have read Once Upon a Broken Heart, feel free to chat to me about it down below, or if you just want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, leave a broken heart emoji. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.